Okay. Good morning, Nigerians. My name is Frederick Mwabafo. I'm here today with the inimitable Omoyele Sowore, the presidential candidate. It promises to be a very, very incisive interaction this morning, and I hope you enjoy it. So, Mr. Sowore, can we meet you?
Yeah, thank you, Fred. My name is Omoyele Sowore, and I am the presidential candidate now of the African Action Congress, a brand new political party that is the fastest growing and the most competitive right now. And I come from a background that you're very familiar with media. A publisher and founder of Sahara Reporters before I entered this race. That's probably what most people know before my foray into partisan politics. Yes. So I had an activist background. I was a student union president at the University of Lagos, a student union activist, environmental activist. I've done a lot of protests, been to detention a few times in Nigeria, and have traveled widely, to a few countries around the world, lived in the US for close to 20 years. Actually, it will be 20 years in February that I've lived in the United States of America. So here we are, our country is in need of a total revolutionary.
Yeah, that brings me to my next question.
Yes.
Why do you want to be president?
I feel better qualified than all the other presidents that ever governed this country combined. And I'm not saying it to brag. I'm saying it because I have been around for 30 years also, just watching every political event, watching every Nigerian leader, and looking at how hopeless it has been to be governed by this bunch of characters who have put Nigeria in dire straits. I decided that instead of staying on the sideline criticizing and just writing exposés about what is wrong with Nigeria, I have the pedigree, I have the integrity, I have the exposure, including stamina, to run Nigeria better than the people who have been doing it before now, particularly the people who are doing it now. And I understand that there are a lot of Nigerians who would feel better if these fresh ideas that we have and have shared widely can be implemented.
Yeah, you said something about you having stamina.
Yes.
You're a young person.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, there's been an issue of, surrounding the president.
Yeah.
Rumors of him having dementia. So, do you think presidential candidates should be subjected to medical examination?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. And not only should they be subjected to medical examination, they should be subjected to physical tests.
Like running.
I would recommend that all the major presidential candidates go and participate in the Lagos Marathon starting February 2nd, and let's see who will still be alive after 1 mile. But quite seriously, they can read medical examination. They even did it in the US, where Donald Trump's doctor apparently didn't carry out any serious tests and claimed that he's one of the headiest presidents in history. Thank you. So it's important to make sure that there is a physical angle to it and also there's a mental angle to it. You've said in more food waters dementia. Of course, I know there is, because I've been writing about it under Sahara Reporters, that the Nigerian president is suffering from a lot of things.
Is this really true?
It is true. I've heard that if you go see him and you turn around and come back to him, you won't remember some 2 minutes later. So, but the greatest evidence of dementia is the way they're running the country. And you saw that unravel when they had a town hall meeting with Kadaria about a week ago, how the position of the president and that of the VP didn't seem to align. So the president forgets very frequently. He didn't understand the questions. So there's absolutely complications in terms of both physical and mental health.
Wow. So, okay, if I get it correctly, are you trying to say the president is the government is not in the hands of the president?
No, there's no question about it. The government is in the hands of a cabal, and we know them. The wife of the president has said it, but even before she said it, we have extensively written about members of the cabal, and they are the ones they are holding, power. Buhari is just holding power on behalf of. He's a proxy to a very, very domineering cabal.
Okay, now let's move away from that. You said something that the PDP represents people who destroyed our past.
Yes.
And
both the PDP and APC.
And APC.
Yes, because if you look at it, they are not different. They're the same people.
Yes. Now, but if you look at the permutation now, if you look at the way things are, it appears people are somehow gravitating towards the APC and the PDP. Now, what do you have to say about what does that actually show?
There is no evidence, in my view, empirical evidence that people are gravitating. In fact, what we're seeing coming out of the field, what we're seeing from interaction with people, is that they are sick and tired of both the PDP and the APC. Forget about the sponsored rallies. They made people poor so that they can give them money and bust them to the rally. It doesn't mean anything, considering the fact that the majority of our people, there are 22 million people who are young people in this country who are registered to vote. There is no public space in Nigeria, stadium or stadia, that can take more than 50,000 people at a time. So let's assume that President Buhari, everybody at President Buhari's rally voted for him. He's had 4 rallies that I know of, and there are 50,000 people each. That's only 200,000 votes that can win the election for him. There's a silent majority of Nigerians who are registered to vote, who don't support the PDP, who don't support the APC, but they are willing to defeat them in this election. So I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that if your judgment is based on what you're seeing at rallies, it's not correct. And another thing to say about rallies is that it's a transactional process. Some of the people who went to Buhari's rally are paid, most of them, if not all. And the next day, if there's a rally for Atiku, they get paid. They move to the next rally. That's what they do because that's their own means of livelihood.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing people talk about is structure. Your party not being at the grassroots. But what do you think about this?
It's not correct. So before the party was formed, about 4 or 5 months, this party came into being in August. Was registered in August, and before we came into being, we already have structures in 25 states. After we came into being, we have been able to prove that we have structure everywhere by traveling across Nigeria, and we've done about 33 states in 9 months. So that tells you that you can't just drive into a state or a city or a village or a town without knowing somebody there, and then you have people following you. It's not the case. The other party, the big parties I should call them, they don't have structures. They have retail outlets, that are used for bribing electors, used for intimidating them, used for enticing them. That's what they have. If they have structures in the APC, they won't need to be buying votes in Ekiti or what they did in Osun. So they just have these transactional retail outlets that are used for carrying out their nefarious political activities. And then they come around and tell you that, we have structures across all the geopolitical zones, or we have it across the state. They don't have structure. They don't have organic structure. We have organic structure. I'll give you an example. I have not been able to afford a single billboard since we started because I can't afford it. But guess what? There's nobody who can claim that they don't know us. And our ideas and the name of our party, our logo at this point. Not many people can claim that. Some people may not. So you think about a party that is only 5 months old, and a party that is 4 years old, another one that is 20 years old, and look at the impact you have made, and you compare and contrast, and you can tell that we are doing way better than them in terms of organic structures across the country.
Yeah, and the thing, it talked about, making the salary of workers,
Minimum wage.
Yeah, minimum wage, sorry,
100,000
naira. Now the government has
we also lose almost half of our wage bill goes to ghost workers and corruption and mismanagement. And we said that we leverage our technology to ensure that everybody that is resuming at a federal government office is doing civil service, who are in the civil service, who are not receiving 18,000 naira. Anybody working at NMPC, are they receiving 18,000 naira? Some of them, their take-home pay is like 20 million naira per month. I'm exaggerating, but if you add all of the allowances, extra codes, contributing our wealth the way it should. And we are creating wealth, or some of our wealth are natural to us, but we're not distributing. So we keep paying a few people huge salaries. So you look at the people who are opposed to minimum wage, they are the people earning maximum wage. So you look at the Senator of Nigeria, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, or House of Rep member, their take-home pay is 14 million naira, right? That is from allowances alone. But guess what? If you are earning 30,000 naira as a minimum wage, your take-home pay, you have to work for 38 years to make the monthly salary of a senator. Is that fair? But you guess what is important is to actually look at the realistic nature of surviving in Nigeria if you're a federal worker. Let's assume as a household, you eat 1,000 naira every day for food. Already, your food is 30,000 naira every month. Yeah? Let's assume you're renting a house for 20,000. It's 50,000 already. Transportation, let's assume, is another 500. We already have 75,000. So if someone is going to work for you 9 to 5 p.m. or 8 to 4 p.m. every day, and he has to eat, he has to transport himself, he has to take care of himself, and you're paying him a wage, a slave wage, what do you think he'll do? He becomes corrupt. When he gets to office, he's looking for how to take care of himself, how to steal, or when he cannot find something to steal, he starts doing other businesses. Bring yam to come and sell. The other day, they come and sell Ankara in the office, and the civil service becomes completely useless because there's no incentive to work. So what we're saying is we need a living wage, and what the living wage will do immediately is that it starts to give people dignity. With 100,000, in our own estimation and understanding, you can become a federal worker who can take a 2 million naira mortgage loan, in which you can invest 20,000 of that every month to pay back the loan, right? With 2 million naira or thereabout, you can start building a house for yourself in a village. That will revolutionize the housing sector, right? It will bring about an economy around, housing. Africa, which is an economy that has a smaller GDP than we have, is paying across board. But you want to be a biggest economy, and the wage to GDP ratio is some of the lowest in the world. So our GDP is about 500 billion naira per annum. Our wage bill is about maybe 2 to 3 billion naira per annum. What percentage of our GDP is that? How do you want to stimulate the economy? How do you want to encourage people to spend and save when they're being paid slave wages? And we have argued this severally with people. No one of them can come up with any realistic pushback except, where will you find money? But we find money to pay extra costs. We find money to pay senators. The wage bill of our senators, or not wage bill, but the cost of sustaining our lawmakers, all these loafers, is about 1 trillion naira system.
I want to hear it.
So realistically, we want to structurally fight corruption, and one of it is paying people, wages that are commensurate with their sweats, so that they can have what we call sweat equity in the system. They feel belong, and they don't feel the need to steal. So preventive. In one of the other part is using technology to prevent the stealing of what is available. Now, I've mentioned to you how we intend to use technology to make sure that everybody who is in federal civil service is identified and identifiable, right? And so that when you claim that you have 900,000 workers, you're actually paying 900,000 workers. Not that you say you have 900 workers are resuming to work, but you are paying 1.5 million federal workers. So that will reduce immediately, the cost of running the wage bill of the country. So the second thing, of course, is to ensure that everything that you can use technology to blockchain technology can improve revenue tracking, for example. The e-portal can help us improve our contracting system. Our contracting system can be improved by technology. I didn't want to say e-portal. Portal is not what I'm trying to say. You have several other technological ways in which you can make things transparent. You can have a land registry that tells you the assets of everybody, and you can search what people have in terms of assets in the country, like Abuja or across Nigeria. You can have, contractors through the CAC have searchable databases of who is a federal contractor, and if they exist or they don't exist. You can have payment of salaries through cashless means, which already is in existence, but also trackable. You can have encryption of communications for financial reasons that bypasses people who otherwise would intercept and steal or rob the country. You can have a financial intelligence system that is technologically driven, such that when money is moving around, the tracking of the money is so swift that before they leave the country, you can stop it. Then the next stage is enforcement, which is where you have the EFCCs